good morning, everybody. You're tuned in to UniverSOUL right here on me here with the Queen, Lady AC. Of course, what you're hearing playing under me is my bed music for the month of August. Yeah, because you know it's a new month, it's a new bed music. This is Kiefer with 10,000 Days. I just love the vibe on it, so I've been letting it like just ride, cause it's Shout out to Kiefer. Shout out to him doing that. Cause that beat is beautiful, beautifully put together. Just give you a runback of the music you just heard so far, or what you have heard up until this point. For my bed music, that was Mahala featuring Buddy, both independent artists. That is their collaboration called Hold On. Before that, I gave you Gold Link featuring Tyler the Creator and Jay Prince, and that was their collaboration called You Say. Before that, I gave you new music by Rhapsody. Yes, by Rhapsody. Featuring D'Angelo and Giza, represent Wu-Tang. Beautiful collaboration, might as well just to say that. And that was her song called IBITHAJ. If that does stand for something, excuse me, charging my mind, not my heart. But of course, that was representing the fight for our brothers and sisters over there in Sudan. The Sudan Revolution. Keep fighting, Sudan. We see you. We see your cause. Keep going. And so that was honoring them, that she did in that beautiful song. Of course, on top of that, she honored black hip hop because she had Mary J. Blige in the video. She had Roxanne Shante in the video. She just dropped the music video for that, so it was gorgeous. Of course, you know she's amazing because she had legends like D'Angelo come and sing on the song, and Giza from the Wu-Tang. Come on, you gotta have some amazing talent for OGs like that to come out and support you. So shout out to Rhapsody, showing that female MCs can do that thing. Before that, I gave you music by Lucky Day, and that was his latest single called Real Games. Before that, I gave you another artist representing Sudan, and that was Miss Gita, and that was her song called Morning Blue. Then, of course, I kicked off and woke you guys up earlier today with Dreamville. They all dropped an amazing project by the name called Revenge. But that was Dreamville featuring Dreamville artist Ari Lennox, Bass, and Baby Rose. All of them came together telling you about that self-love. That was the name of the track. Self-love is the best love. It's the only love. It's your first love that we got to get right. So I think that was a good song right there. Speaking of love, sending love out. Once again, I did give out love to my people in Sudan, showing shout out to the diaspora out there. That we see you, we love you, we hope you'll fight, uplifting you, but also want to get love out to the families, the victims of these mass shootings, or victims of domestic terrorism over this past weekend in Texas and Ohio. That, like I said at the beginning, at the top of the hour, that our love is stronger than your hate. So no matter what you do, you will not stop it at all. You will not. You will not. And I'm optimistic enough to feel that no matter what they do, or what they did, they're in the last stand. To quote Toni Morrison, once you take this racism away, what else do you have? Once you take that hatred, that hate away, what else do you have? If the only way you can be tall, once again, I'm paraphrasing, but these are the words of Toni Morrison. If the only way you can be tall is by someone being on their knees, are you really powerful? Are you really that strong? Who are you? And the answer is nothing. And I think that's what they fear the most, is they realize that. They realize that. And that's why they're taking this last stand to give so much hate. They're taking so many lives to disrupt this issue, to disrupt this movement, this global consciousness that's growing, but you can't stop it, no matter what you do. No matter what you do. That's personally me, and that's my thoughts on that. But speaking of Toni Morrison, so throughout the show, been celebrating her greatness. And shout out to everybody tuning in to me, not only over air, but also on Facebook Live. Hey, Unc. You know, thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely appreciate the love, as always. But speaking of showing love, we've been celebrating the life of Miss Toni Morrison, who passed away yesterday. It was announced that Toni Morrison died amongst friends and family in the medical center in New York at the age of 88, which is a life well lived and well deserved. And so today's show has been called Toni Taught Me, because she taught a lot of us a lot of things. One thing about being unapologetic, about being strong, about being honed to your craft, but also about standing tall in who you are and what you believe. Because one thing is, regardless of her age, regardless of how many interviews she ever did, she never wavered from what she stood for. She never wavered for who she was. She never changed who she was, regardless if editors tried to get her to change her work, if writers tried to get her to change her work, critics tried, nothing. She kept putting out her work, telling the stories that need to be told, that's told from us. From us. And that's what made her so powerful. But also, we have to recognize within that, even though we see her as a beloved author, beloved figure, this Nobel Peace Prize winner, she was still a person. She was a single mother who grew a beautiful family. You know, she was a mother, she was a grandmother, she was an aunt, she was a mentor, she was a cousin, you know. So she was still human. So in honor of her family, you know, definitely respecting the fact that, you know, to give them that time to mourn, to give them that time to embrace her and love that memory, get that closure for them in this passing. But here on the show, we've been honoring her by playing some of her some of her words, so you hear from her, just to show how strong in what she believed in and what her art was going to tell or tell others. And so we're going to continue that and play as much as I can of the interview. In this interview particularly, she is talking about her book Love, which covers the topic of race, issues amongst us as black people, you know, as far as race, the separation of classes with gentrification and all these different things of the civil rights movement, the groundwork that happened in that transition. So we're going to continue to hear that. So further ado, here is coming from her own words, Miss Toni Morrison, talking about her book Love. Tune in, and so we're gonna watch. Well, y'all get to see this firsthand. I'm gonna pull that out, and then we're gonna get there, and then we're gonna do it.
That you were a writer, and you knew that's what you wanted to do.
That's true.
I mean, you continued to teach and to be an editor.
Yes.
At Random until 83.
Yes.
And continued to teach after that.
Yes.
But you knew.
And that was a big thing.
I am a writer.
Yes,
that's
I
what I'm
am.
here to do.
That's
right.
exactly right. I didn't know before, and I was not a young writer, mind you.
You
I was in my late 30s.
Exactly.
Being started publishing when I was 39.
Yeah.
So it takes a while, but once I had begun it, that was it for me. There was nothing more important to me in the world except to mother my children.
To mother your children and write these books.
That's all. And anything that wasn't helping those two things, I wasn't going to do. It didn't help me be a good parent.
Write feature stories.
I wasn't doing it.
In setting out to do this, what are you just telling stories that you think are? I mean, tell me about this. Started because you wanted to deal with an idea, or you wanted to take characters and put them on a path.
It's a question, not a real idea. Sort of a question.
A question.
What about this? What would happen if this? But the next step is not pressing on that idea or that question. It's finding characters who can manifest it for me. I had to start. The first section I wrote was not about Mr. Cozy.
Right.
It was about this teenage boy
Right.
at a party. And I just knew that so well. So I wrote it, then I had to put him in context. That kind of instinctive, caring love this kid had to save somebody in a situation where his peers are pressuring him to do a bad thing, and he doesn't even know he's doing it, and he is now ostracized because loving or caring is weakness, and he knows it, and he's ashamed of that very human, very lovely instinct to care for something that's wounded. So that was one kind of love, and then I built these other kinds emanating from this figure of Mr. Cozy, who, by the way, is just a guy.
Right.
I mean, the women, and maybe the society, and certainly maybe even himself, have given him all these incredible roles. The ultimate friend, the perfect husband. He's not thinking about any of them, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
But the last chapter, and he did, meddle a lot in their lives, is called Phantom.
Yeah.
Because they have to get rid of him. I mean, they allowed themselves, a lot of them, to be seduced by, ruined by, controlled by Bill Cozy.
Yeah. They allow themselves to be done.
Which is what women frequently do with men. You let them do the terrible thing or the big chop thing.
We have no chance unless you let us. Unless
we can walk out. You can leave.
Okay,
But just the idea, the image, the control in the mind, not just the physical life, of what your life is. Well, he, and therefore this. Once they gave it up,
are most of your characters' lives winners or losers?
always winners.
Always winners.
Always. Even if they drop dead.
They're winners.
They're winners.
There's some value there that
They learned something very, very important. Some critical thing they learned that they never would have known except for the novel. Their experiences are epiphanies. I think those are happy endings when you finally figure it out and you know it. Or maybe they don't have a car, or maybe they don't have the loved one or whatever, but this is the life of the mind and the spirit, and they win. They're not stupid anymore.
Now, you also were a former editor. Does that make you a better writer that you used to edit other people's stuff yourself?
Yeah, it makes me better.
Does it really?
It makes me better.
Makes you better. May or may not make you better. But it makes you better because...
I know things. I know.
Like what?
I know.
You know what the story's about. You know what a character's about.
No, but I know more about when people fall in love with their work, what that means, how terrible that is. I know,
Oh, wait. You mean when a writer falls in love with his work and does not want to see one word or one character or one whole storyline eliminated?
And he's writing probably badly. When you love it,
You can't see. Love is blind.
you don't want that. I'm sure Hemingway was trying to get all that stuff out. That's his big deal, getting all the sentiment out, getting all the mess out, taking away the honey. Right. So in that sense, even though you're writing in a different style, and most people are, you have to know when to stop.
Right.
Not to write just because you can. Not to fall in love too much with these little sentences that came up. And the most important thing is to know that if you write it over, it will be better each time.
Now, here goes. Robert Gottlieb is your editor.
He is.
I read somewhere that he said, Tony, now I'm paraphrasing, you and I, we got to get it right because we don't know how many more of these we're going to do. Is that about right?
He's feeling mortal.
Yeah, more, exactly. Is that?
He's older than I am.
He's 8.
No, he's not.
How old is he?
He's not age. He's 72.
He's 72. Oh. He's also doing Clinton's book. Isn't he doing
Yes,
his book?
he is.
Who you call the first black president.
I repeated that. Chris Rock said that.
Oh, Chris Rock said it first. You just repeated it. That's great.
I get the credit.
That's
Much Chris Rock. I quoted Chris.
Oh my God! Now see, Chris Rock can go. Chris Rock can go to dinner on the fact that Toni Morrison
Right.
gave him credit. You know, Nobel laureate said Chris Rock gave him
Right.
that idea.
Took a lot.
You did say it. But Gottlieb, what does Gottlieb do for you? So let's establish he's a great editor.
He is, for me, a great editor.
And he's been with you on every...
Every book except the time when he went away.
Right. He went away to
New York.
New York. Right.
So
that was,
jazz-
what was that, 2 or 3 years? Or was that longer?
About 5 years, I think.
Right.
So Jazz in Paradise, I did without it.
And?
I loved every minute of it.
Did you really?
Well, because
But
it
the
was...
people didn't like it Paradise, and don't think Paradise is one of your
Oh, they're
best
wrong.
books. They don't.
All right. They're
In fact, people
entitled.
saying this is better than Paradise.
They're entitled to anything.
Oh.
But those 2 books, I needed to know that I could do this without him. That was an important thing for
To
me.
you.
To me, internally. Can you
Oh.
write without that eye that's been looking next to you all these years? And luckily I can, as Jazz proved.
And Paradise.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Now, here's what a friend of mine, I was over at 60 Minutes and I had a friend named Stephen Glauber, who's a producer over there. And he said, tell me about Tony's new book. I said, I gotta go over here and interview him. And he said, I said, well, you know, some people like it a lot, and some people don't like it. He said, Toni Morrison doesn't have to worry about critics.
Oh, no, never did.
Never did.
Except for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
I like to take their quotes out and put them in an ad. No, but you can't.
Oh, you take a
really.
good coach and put it in an ad.
If it's
you don't
in
mind.
good, right,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
But have you ever written a letter to, I mean, would you ever call up and, Chico, this is Tony? Stop it.
No. First of all, reviewers and critics are entitled to their opinion.
Exactly.
I have
Oh,
both sides.
no, the magnanimity of Toni Morrison.
No, but I
comes
read
out
books
there.
I loathe. Nobody asks me about them. They're awful. You know, and I feel like I have the right to say it or think it or feel it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. What I dislike is bad reviews, meaning badly thought through, badly written. They sound like...
You have told me that on the air, I think. You were really upset about something because you thought the person didn't get it.
They didn't only get it, they wrote like 11th grade book report. Calling names and
do you
repeating
remember
the
this
plot.
bias?
No, I don't. Which I had some great good fortune now. I've had some reviews written by fiction writers. It's a most extraordinary thing. They don't even approach the book that way. They write about it like...
I don't get the point. What?
Well, instead of being reviewers who
Right.
have lots of books
I
to
see.
do,
Right. Instead of
but
being
they're also
a-
writers.
Oh, I see.
and they write novels.
Yeah.
So they look at it differently. And
Better,
whatever,
for better or worse?
much better. I don't mean they like the book better, because, you know, they may, but they understand what the project was. So their language is the language of a writer talking to another writer. It's lovely. I like that. I like that a lot.
Would you review a book with somebody that they called you up and said,
I'd
this
like to, but I don't think I can now
is,
because it's like,
because you are Toni Morrison.
but I sometimes give blurbs to young writers. I do that, you know, to writers who
Sure.
first books. Makes a difference.
You don't need blurbs, I can see. Only if you're not known. Yeah. I want you to reflect on this genuinely now.
All right.
It is the notion of being Toni Morrison,
Yes.
the great Toni Morrison, the Nobel laureate Toni Morrison, the grand Toni Morrison.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, I mean, is it intoxicating?
Oh, that's somebody that sits right over there. She sort of walks behind me.
Yeah, but you walk into the room, it's Toni
Oh,
Morrison.
that's her. She gets the good seat. She gets the everything. She gets all the stuff.
I mean,
and I'm back
we're
here.
in, reverential awe, even though we might not like a book.
She's still
You
in
are
her-
Toni Morrison. You are Toni
Well,
Morrison.
I'm going to keep her out there.
Oh, you are. No. But I would think it's,
It could be, prohibited.
it could be what?
It could stifle
Well,
me.
it sure could. I mean, but my guess is your work habits haven't changed.
No, they have not.
You know?
No, I am
It doesn't?
this writer person. And the other person.
Oh yes, she is the Toni Morrison right there, y'all. Yes, and I'm gonna end it just like that, because coming up next is Good Morning Blues right here, only here on WRFG Atlanta. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in on, like I said, if you listen to me on air, you're listening to me on the WRFG app, or you watch me on Facebook Live. Thank you so much for the support, continuous support. Once again, praise to Sudan, much love and peace to the families of Ohio and Texas. And once again, shout out, much love, Betsy Smith. We see you, girl. Pull through, girl. All right? Much love. The Queen is signing out. And I'm going to leave you, of course, with this last one right here. This is Donnie, Cloud9, the DJ Spinner remix. Till next week, y'all. You're listening to WRFG Atlanta. Once again, yes, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Love you so much. Please like, post, share. Put people on to me. And have a good hump day. Till next week. Bye, y'all.